Okay. Well, so this is our Happy Hoopers Machine Embroidery Specialty Interest Group today. And welcome everyone. And so today our topic is tile scenes, and in this case, each tile is a different embroidery picture. And in America, the beautiful little wall quilt that's about 13 inches square finished. And so I have made several hundred pictures of the process. So we'll go through my pictures. But what I did was in the directions, it says hoop heavy tearaway stabilizer. So I did hoop one layer of heavy tearaway stabilizer. And then you use all these different colors in each design. And there are 15 different blocks, the tiles. And they can be a red background, a white background, or a blue, medium blue or dark blue background for this. So I'm going to share my screen and walk you through this process. And now, can you see that? Okay. And I can
Yes.
make it a little bigger. So in this case, I used a batik, and I didn't know if the mountains would show up, but they did, because you keep adding layers of color. This designer has multiple layers of colors in each design. So this was the finished mountains. Oh, it went back to small. Oh well, it's not staying there. That's better. And so then I'm hooped the next one, and you can see the white heavy tearaway stabilizer. And also I did spray it with a temporary spray to between the layers, just to keep it really nice and flat and no puckers in the fabrics. And so this is the next one. This is the barn and the silo. And you can see, let me get a little bit, how the layers go, if it'll stay. And there's multiple colors going through each design. And it takes a while. So if each one has, well, I think the highest one had 18,000 stitches, but that's a lot of satin stitching. So this is the barn and the silo with the moon. And then it stitches an outline box around it, and that is where you sew it together to the next block. And in the instructions, it said to use a color on the top for the outline seam to color match the fabric, but I didn't read it right. So I put black on both sides, which wasn't too problematic. Now here's the white background fabric. And I was able to put all three words of America and two Americas and one third part of a statement. So here's the America, and it has a single layer of gold, and then it has a shaded gold. You can see a darker part, and there's a shaded gold. And then you put white snow caps. Here's an America with a heart. There's two of them. And then you put white snow capped uh, highlights on the words on, and there's a lot of stop and goes on all these. So it takes a long time. And there, I was able to do in my software to put the two in one hoop. So I was very proud of myself doing that. And then there's a heart with one and a comma with another of the two America words. There's the shading and going on the top one. So there's those two. And then shed his grace, there's the bottom color, the first layer of shed his grace. It's a nice bright gold. And then you put burnished gold and white snow caps, and then you put the outline stitch. I don't know if you can see that. There's a brown outline stitch around all those words. So it takes a while. And then there's two more sets of words, on thee and God shed his grace on thee. God shed his grace on thee. And there's the uh, darker gold, and then the outline stitch, and the white highlights, and three little gold stars. So there's a lot of detail on these. And then the outline box for cutting. You cut it 1/4 inch away from the outside of that box, so you have a seam allowance. So once you get them out of the hoop and tear away, you have. And then this is the music notes, and it's actually part of the tune. If you know how to read music, da 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 da, and then God shed His grace on thee is the bottom one, so you can sing it. It's in there. And this is the apple pie one, and it is lots of colors going on in here, and shading. This is the highlights of the apples, and then it keeps going smaller. And then there's the pie plate, shading on the pie plate. You can see. And then the pie crust. There's so much interest going on. And then the decorations on the pie crust. And the outline stitch. And this is the star. And what you do is you cut the star out of the paper pattern, and you can put heat and bond light on the back of the fabric, and then place it down and fuse it to the outline of the fabric where it goes, and then it stitches around it. Then it puts in a sun with sun rays and different shading on the clouds, and a bunch of little star clusters. So that's pretty nice. And there you can see all the shading. It's pretty detailed. It takes a while. And here's the blueberries. There's 3 or 4 colors in those blueberries. You can see a couple of them there. And then the brown stems, and then the leaves have 4 colors in them. And so that's a lot of shading. And you can see how it goes. And then this is the golden grain, the grains of wheat. That's the base color. And it's just beautiful as you're seeing it. Stitch, that's the bottom layer of color. And then the outline, and then the white highlights. And then I combined 2 piles into the one hoop. So here's the 5 stars. And then on the back, before I stitched the outline boxes around these 2, I trimmed out the extra layer of, I did float an extra layer of stabilizer under the hoop on this one because it had so many stitches on that wheat. So I cut the extra layer of stabilizer away, and then I did the outline boxes. It wouldn't be hard to get that out of there. Then there's the baseball glove and the bat. This is the beginning of the bat. And it was fun to do this. And there's the baseball and the shading in the bat. And there's the baseball with all its shading. There's a lot of thread changes. And now I heat and bond on the back of this baseball glove, and I put the mitt down, and then it stitches around the mitt and does all kinds of color changes on the mitt. And then on the back, I had floated another layer under the mitt, so I took the extra floated layer, trimmed it down so I didn't have the outline box stitching through 2 layers of stabilizer. And then here's a bunch of the tiles all done. Oops. And what you do. I wanted to make this bigger so you could see some of them. There's all finished. And then this is the back when you start tearing away all the stabilizer off all these pictures files. And it was pretty easy. I did it all right. It just went pretty well. And then you use what's called Wonder tape. It's a paper-backed tape that sticks onto the edge of the seam allowance, and it's a 1/4 inch. So then you put it down, peel that top white layer off, and you put the next block down. Well, in this case, I was putting a piece of rickrack down that side, and then you join it together with the block that it stitches to, and then you just stitch through it with the rickrack in there. And there's the first 2 blocks joined with the rickrack in the seam allowance. And that's how you get them to stay together with the rickrack. That Wonder tape positions the rickrack so it goes right down the middle of the rickrack on that seam joining stitch, that outline stitch. So these 2 go next together, the mountains and the barn and silo with the rickrack between them. And then another layer of rickrack. There's a lot of rickrack. I used a whole package. White medium rickrack. And then there's the first 4 tiles together. Then the next 4 are the music notes, the 2 America words, and then the golden grain. And those are all joined. And these, we put the rickrack after they were joined right on that seam. So there's 3 layers of rickrack right down the seam. And this is how you make the front of the quilt. These are upside down. This says you can rotate it. There. So there's the baseball mitt, the apple pie, God shed his grace on thee, and the music notes and the stars. So that comes all together in one. And then you do put rickrack, and then it joins with the top group. And then you put rickrack on all these layers on the seam allowance, and it becomes the quilt top. Then it says cut the backing 15 inches, the batting 15 inches, and this is the hanging sleeve on the back. It's a 7 by 11.5 strip. And then this is how I make the binding. I cut it 2.5 or 2.25 inches wide, but the pattern calls for 2-inch wide, but I need it bigger. So I cut the 2.25 inch strips, and I join the 2 ends of the binding by overlapping them so that they each hang over the opposite edge. So this one I line up on a mat line, and it hangs over this line, and then I place the other one right side down, and that forms the 2 legs of the letter A. And then to know where to put your seam, whether to go from here to here or from here to here, if it's the letter A. So the letter A has a bar that'll come across. So this is the direction. So you're going to go the direction of the bar across the A, and it goes from this upper corner to the opposite corner, and you stitch that, and you can draw a line. And there's the stitched or the line drawn, and then the stitched and trimmed to 1/4 inch, and then you press your seam open. And that's how you do the binding. And then this is the quilt layered onto the batting and the backing, and I did spray with temporary spray hold to the 3 pieces. And this is the back quilted. It took me 1.5 hours to do all that because I used red thread to match the backing and white thread on the front in most of the rickrack. And the only other 2 were this little seam here. I used dark red, and right here, this dark red. But I had to bury the stitches by hand on all the ends that were either white thread and red thread or red thread and red thread. I buried the stitches where they ended in the quilt, in the middle of the quilt. And then this is how to do the binding. Turn this around. Usually on a quilt, this one's 13 inches wide, and you want about a 10-inch opening between the beginning here at this white pin and the other side of the quilt. So I put where you want to stop sewing and start sewing over here, the binding on, but I leave this tail loose, and you're going to have enough room to join the two tails if you leave yourself at least 10 inches of space in there to work with. So that's how I start the binding. Oops, I think I've skipped over one. Yeah. So then you start where you had your white straight pin, and you go to within a 1/4 inch of the edge of the quilt, and then go off on the corner diagonally. So that's a 1/4 inch from that dot is a 1/4 inch from the edge of this side of the quilt. And then I stitched it just from here to that dot and off to the corner at a diagonal. And then you line up the edge of the quilt with the binding going straight up, so it's a straight line, and you fold it straight down on top of itself with a fold right here at this raw edge, and maybe the next one will show it. Yeah, so I folded the binding straight down on top of itself, and there's two folded edges right here that have to match exactly. And then you stitch your new 1/4 inch seam allowance going in the new direction. And so this one's all stitched that side, and I stopped within a 1/4 inch down here and went off at the diagonal in the sewing. And then once you get all the corners, the last corner, you're coming back around, you're going to fold it just like you have straight down. And then you have your two thread tails, your two binding tails there, and you've gone all the way around. So the middle of the quilt is this yellow straight pin, and the two ends of the binding tails are the red ones. And then what you do, let me see if I can get this to be. So here's the middle, and here's the end marks the binding tail underneath this top layer of the binding top layer tail. And you remember I cut it 2 1/4 inch wide binding. So what you're going to do is wherever the bottom layer of that binding tail is ending right here, you're going to measure from that red pin over 2 1/4 inches, which is the width you cut the binding. So 2 1/4 inches, and you're going to cut the rest of that excess binding tail off just through the top layer of the binding tail, not through both binding tails, just the top one at 2 1/4 inch from the edge of the bottom binding tail. So you have an overlap of 2 1/4 inches, and cut it. Then you're going to, let me show you this. Place the quilt below the two binding tails. The left binding tail you open and place it right side up, and the right binding tail you place it right side down on top of it, and you match the two cut edges here and draw your diagonal line, and that's your stitching line to join the two tails. And then this is the two tails sewed together. And before I cut them to the 1/4 inch seam allowance, I lay it back down on the quilt and make sure it fits, and it does. There's no excess in there. So I've cut the 1/4 inch seam allowance off that diagonal stitching line now and pressed it open, and then it lays flat, and then you stitch right along, and there's your quilt binding all attached. And that's it. So the next part, I'm going to stop sharing, because what you would do is, I made a sample, and I didn't get a picture of this, but you would wrap your quilt binding around, maybe if I put me on screen view speaker there. How do I do this? Oh, do you see me as the speaker full screen?
No.
No. Well, how do I do it? Speaker. Well, make spotlight there. Okay. So
There we
now
go.
this is, let's say that the blue is here we are. The blue is the front of the quilt. This is just a scrap of the sample. And this is the back. So in the front of the quilt, when you wrap that binding tail around to the back, one side of the quilt binding is higher than the other. So this side is the high side. Can you tell that that's the higher of the two layers of binding? And when you wrap the one that's the highest on this side, this one, to the back, it has to go down first. So whichever one's highest on the front is the lower one on the back. So this one is the higher one. So it goes around to the back first. Then this one goes second. And on the back, you'll see it. That, oh, sorry. That this is now the higher one. This is the higher, this is the higher one on the back. And this is the lower one because there's a, if you run your finger up there, there's a bump, and that's the higher one that's you're running into. And that way it takes away some of the bulk on one side of your binding corner. And then I stitched in the ditch and it just caught the edge of the binding. So that's how you do that. And then the final step is to tack down the edge of the sleeve on the back of the quilt, and it's done. And I'm really happy that I was able to get this done because it took hours. I don't always have hours, but uh, that's what it was. And there's our tile scene all done too. Any questions?
I watched a video of that one Bernina show that comes on once a week. I
Uh-huh.
don't think they've been showing new shows, but Art and Stitch maybe, or has art in the title. Anyway, he talked about uh, when you're making wall hangings, and I'm bringing this up since you talked about the binding. When you're doing wall hangings, he takes 1/4 inch polyester twill tape, and he puts that, cuts a piece for the top and a piece for the bottom, and then a piece for each side, and he zigzags that onto the back before he puts the binding on. And because he feels that helps stabilizes your edges so that it hangs nicer.
Okay.
And I thought that was a nice idea. I haven't made any wall hangings to try it with, but I'm going
Yeah.
to try it sometime. It makes sense because I have some wall hangings that don't hang as nice as I'd like them to. So maybe adding that extra poly.
More
He
like a
uses,
stiffener to the
yeah,
sides. Yeah.
yeah. So he uses a polyester twill tape. He prefers the polyester because I forget why he said that was. Maybe it won't stretch out or something. I'm not sure,
Won't
but
shrink. Yeah.
won't shrink. Yeah, there you go.
Well, good. That's a good tip. So yeah. And uh that the lady who designed this, I really liked how she put it together and did all the layered colors. I did have to convert them all from isochord colors to my poly my Floriani brand because that's what my sewing store sells is Floriani. So I don't have ice cord. So I did have to spend a few hours changing all those thread colors into Floriani. And I used my phone app that converts things from one thread color to another. And I did pretty well, I think it came out.
How
So,
many color threads did it take?
oh, well, let's see. I have the chart. Let's see. On here somewhere. Oh, here. There.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Boy, you're brave. You are
Yeah, and
brave.
here's the list of all the color changes in each
Oh, geez.
design. It's all there.
But that's how you get the the professional look, the professional depth.
Yeah. It it was a challenge and hours and hours. I haven't, it tells you the stitch count on each one. Yeah. See, you can tell that there's a stitch count on each one. So if I um, pulled that up in my machine, I was going to do it and see. Well, this one takes 52 minutes just stitching time, and
Hmm.
so double that or triple that for all the stops and starts, and so that's how much it took.
It was very nice.
Wow.
Very nice, Janice. That turned out really nice.
So I'm pleased with. And there's our tile scene and our patriotic 250th America and whatever else. Oh, we
What
have
is a
that
chat?
challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, is a challenge just patriotic?
Yeah. Anything, it doesn't have to be red, white, and blue, but whatever you want to make that might go with the theme.
Well, that's the USA patriotic colors, so
Yeah. And I like the shading. She did a really great job on all the shadings. And it wasn't on sale. It was $39.99 that design. And I don't know if OESD ever has a sale on all their designs, but that one was not, and I don't blame them because she worked hard on that on that design. And I learned a lot. That's what I learned. How to convert colors, how to stitch them. And since the tips you gave me a few months ago on thread breaking, I didn't have it maybe once my thread broke because I'm doing the serger knit on
Wow.
my spool of thread and have a needle and better stabilizer. It didn't pucker and I used temporary spray hold
uh-huh.
on the fabric and the stabilizer. And it worked really well. I didn't have any trouble in those departments.
Well, good.
Any other questions? Do you have?
Okay, so did you talk about, I'm sorry, I had to go to the bathroom in the middle. Did you talk about sewing your pieces together? Did you go
Yes.
over that?
The instructions say so the star block to the Purple Mountains block, and then so um, these are the instructions on how to sew it together. It's a double-sided page, and using Wonder Tape to position the rickrack because the rickrack is in there. Let's see. I have to find it. Oh, I don't seem to have the one with the whole. Oh, this is the one with the whole quilt. Yeah. So yeah, it told us to sew the white star to the blueberries first, then the mountains, the purple mountains in the barn and silo. So that makes the upper corner of the flag blue. And I put my blueberries on a light blue because the medium blue, it just doesn't show up. So in my quilt, I put it on a light blue and it shows up because otherwise it would have blended just like the mountains
Yeah, yours
I
does look
did on the
better.
batik. Whoops, I'm going the wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
So
that
it looks
better.
like a flag with the blue in the upper corner and then the stripes of red, white going across the flag. So
And
there it is.
did you have any trouble matching them up so that your stitching, like any of your stay stitching didn't show or anything?
I only I measured a 1/4 inch in from all the cut edges, and a couple of the box stitchings I did take out, but not all of them. So most of them, it was very precise. The boxes were very precise on the length of the rows going this way, so they matched up beautifully.
I was
But
expecting it to be larger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with all the work that goes into it, I was expecting it to be larger.
Oh, yeah. Well, it would have taken more hours to make them larger, I guess.
Definitely would have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these blocks. So I started this when we started a tile scene. Remember, I was doing the spring hummingbirds, 67,000 stitches in 1/4, and it was too hard for my sewing machine to read all the color changes. And so I did 1/4 of it, but I'm going to keep going on it when I get more time because it is beautiful. But this one is so much easier than that one was. There was a lot of shading in that one, and I had to convert all my isochord numbers to Floriani. So that one's a bigger challenge than this one was.
You're gutsy.
Anything else about this you want to ask? And I didn't have to change my needle. It didn't break ever, or the thread didn't break. So that was amazing. Okay, does anybody have any show and tell?
I have a stabilizer question,
Okay.
and it's not about your project. It's about I'm doing tea towels for a kitchen, and I used and they're downstairs. I'm not going downstairs, but I used a sticky. It was tearaway sticky. So you hoop your stabilizer and then you cut out the top. So then you pull that paper off and then it's sticky.
Mhm.
Then I laid my tea towel down on it and then made sure that it was straight. And then when I stitched it out, the one that I stitched out, it was totally dense. So you couldn't see the stabilizer whenever it was all finished. But the other one had holes in it, not holes, but spaces where whenever I took the stabilizer off, tore it off because it was a tearaway, you could still see it on the places that it was open. And I'm thinking I could do different, but I don't know what to do.
There might be a wash away sticky.
There is.
This is a wash away sticky, but it doesn't really wash away completely. It just gets mushy, like mushy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I imagine you could probably wash it a couple times, but if I'm going to give it as a gift, I don't want to wash it and wash it, wash it, and wash it, and then give it away.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe
got
there's
any experience with
a
that?
sticky spray, like the 505.
but I still think the stabilizer would stay on it. Well, I could spray it. I could spray the back of the towel.
But
Or I could spray.
doesn't that dissipate after a certain number of hours? The 505?
Yes, it would. It would go away if I just did in the middle of where I'm putting my design. But then when I stitch it on something, then that stabilizer's still on the back of it.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to go with it's washable, it's wash away, and just go with that and say it'll wash away.
Yeah. It will wash away. The Wonder Tape washes away. I haven't washed this yet, but to put the rickrack down, you
Yeah.
have to have some way to hold it in
Yeah, it's
place.
supposed to wash away, they say.
Yeah.
But you won't be washing your wall hanging, so really
No.
wouldn't worry about that.
I can still see the between the ditches in the rickrack. I can still see the Wonder Tape in there. I don't know, but it says it washes away, so I might just leave it. I don't need to wash it, but I can see where
Right.
the
You
Wonder
think you
Tape.
could blot it with something wet to see if it lifts?
Oh, yeah, that would work. I could try that.
Do you
But
think a topper would help you on your towels?
I did use a topper.
Oh, okay. So that's
Yeah.
not a solution then.
I wonder
I'm
if
just
the
gonna have to go ahead.
dealer would have any
Yeah, I think
tips.
yeah, next time I go into a store, I'm gonna ask if they have any suggestions. And if I can take my towel in if it's not too long from now.
You could
I'll
call
take my
them.
towel in then and ask them, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And did you all hear that Serendipity Stitch is moving again? Serendipity Stitch was well, they're still in Carlisle on that main road, and they're moving to Mount Holly, which is
North
only about,
Carolina,
no, Mount Holly, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's right outside of Carlisle.
Yeah, it's
okay.
about 20 minutes from here, from Mechanicsburg.
I don't know that place. Is it a quilt shop?
Yes. It's
Serendipity?
very small in Carlisle, and it's really hard to get good parking because they're on that main road. I mean, you can park behind it and then walk up to it, but it's a pain. And they don't have any classroom space. So this new place, they're going to have classroom space and a bigger place to put their fabrics. And I don't know when they're moving. They didn't say that in their
Okay.
email.
Oh, Sonia,
Can't
you're on
hear
mute.
you, Sanja. You're muted. Muted. Push that little
There
mute
we
button
go.
over
Yeah,
there.
I was
There she
trying.
is.
I keep getting that hand. Will they be further away from us or
Serendipity? No, it's only 20 minutes away.
so it'll be further away once they move?
No, it'd be closer.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll have to
Very
take a
good.
road trip.
Definitely.
Very good. So, any
Yeah.
other comments?
I have some.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get my desktop to come up. It's up now, and I'm using my iPad, so I don't know if you can see these. But I make some pillowcases for a friend of mine and her grandchildren. So that's one of them.
Oh,
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 that's pretty.
how
I
cute.
don't know how old he is. I'm guessing maybe 3. And the girls always, they're 10 and no, 9 and 10, they always have a sleepover. So I made these,
Oh, that's cute.
and
Yeah.
I made the other one just the opposite.
oh yeah. Very nice.
And then the other one, this turned out really funny. I made this and I got finished. And I can't show it, but, and I wonder, why is this thing so long? And it dawned on me, instead of cutting the top fabric 27 inches, I left the full 1 yard.
Oh,
So now what I'm going to do, I did this one on the serger. I measured a pillowcase. So I'm just going to take it off the top, and then reserge it. But
yeah.
I just couldn't imagine what happened. It was so funny. I was stunned when I opened, I started to iron this.
So it's an
anyway, I
extra
got all
quarter
4
yard.
done.
It's an extra quarter yard long.
Yeah. Yeah, it should have been cut to 27 inches, and I
Yeah.
just left the full yard.
Oh, yeah. I think we've all done things that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
but
good. Those
it's
are
an easy
adorable.
fix. It's an
Yeah.
easy fix, so that's what's
Mhm.
important.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. That's great. Glad to see them.
Yep.
I sure miss Joanne's though.
Oh, I do too.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I wound up getting this stuff at Walmart. And I was thinking after, I have Hobby Lobby near me too, because
Yeah.
I'm right off Carlisle Pike. Yeah, too late.
Yeah, I have a quilt I'm ready to back, put on my long arm. The front is white with different colored stars. And I have like I have like 12 backing fabrics, but none the color that I want to use on this quilt. So I'm trying to convince myself to use what I have rather than going out and buying something else.
Mm. How big is the quilt?
It's about a 58 by 74. So
Okay,
it's not huge, but
Long.
yeah.
yeah, it is pretty long. It would look nice on a single bed, but I was just going to fold it and put it on my bed. I sort of want purple. I sort of want to do it with the purple, but I hate to go out and buy more purple.
Do you
So
have
you
any
have a
fabrics left from making the quilt?
No, because it's made with all scraps.
Oh, that's what we're doing in July with that Ann Holt workshop.
Yeah,
Scraps.
yeah, I'm coming up for that.
Yeah, me
Are we
too.
supposed to take scraps of fabric to that?
I think we
Yes,
are.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Is
think
somebody
that's,
going to send us out like what we are supposed to bring?
yeah, I'm sure they will.
I think, well, we did get one email, but
Yeah, I don't know what to bring. I'm just saving scraps. A lot of
yeah,
mine are red, white, and blue, but we'll see. Because I make quilts of valor too, and I've got a lot of red, white, and blue. But
right.
okay. Anything else? This was good. Oh, what's our next meeting? Uh, June, July.
August.
Yeah.
Yeah, we decided to skip July.
Did we decide to skip it?
I thought we did.
I have written on July 22nd, which is the fourth Wednesday, tea bag holder, Christmas in July, or maybe we could skip July. Those were two ideas presented last time.
Doesn't matter to me.
Um, who had the tea bag holder?
That was
Uh,
Julie.
Julie.
Oh, Julie Ginnings.
Yeah, I have Christmas ideas.
Yeah.
I have on mine just Christmas ideas.
Or there's August 26th, the fourth Wednesday. Do we want to meet in August for sure?
Well,
Happy.
why did we want to skip July?
I don't know, unless
I don't
people are
remember.
not going to be available, but I'm available. And
Yeah, I'm available.
August, I'm available. September, I may be 1, 2, 3. I will be coming back from our trip. The 23rd.
September 1, 2.
23rd is the
Okay.
fourth Wednesday.
Yeah, that's my church's quote camp, so I won't be available, and usually
Do we change it to the fifth Wednesday, which is the 30th?
sometimes change it, yeah.
Okay, we should make September the 30th, the fifth Wednesday, Happy Hoopers, if we want to do that. Now we have the annual meeting. When is our annual meeting? September 12th at State College.
Oh,
And
it's September 12th.
yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna put that down.
September 12th. It's a Saturday. Annual meeting. I forget where we're having it. I'll have to look in the newsletter. I didn't write where. And then the National ASG Conference is the 24th, 25th, and 26th, and that's probably is that by Zoom? Or,
Usually,
yeah, because we don't
Yeah,
meet
now they
anymore.
are, yeah.
Yeah, ASG National Conference is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Of September, right?
Uh-huh, of September.
Do you know the time for the ASG conference?
No,
various times.
if it's
Yeah.
various speakers, teachers, they'll be scheduled probably in the morning and the afternoons on those 3 days. Like they have a fall ASG and they had one in
Yeah,
March or April or something.
I gotta just tentatively put mine down for 9,
Yeah,
just to,
it'll
okay,
come out
say
in
that.
our emails from National.
Yeah,
ASG National Fall Conference 24, 25, and 26 of September. And our annual meeting in State College is September 12th, Saturday.
now what did you say about we changing the September meeting to the 30th?
Yeah, because the 23rd, I'm not here and Sonja's not here. So
Okay,
we should make it the 5th Wednesday, the 30th.
okay, that works.
And what do you want to do for a topic? We can do, do we want to skip July and just move to August on that? Maybe the tea bag holder or the Christmas angel, Christmas ideas in August. August
Well,
will be the 4th Wednesday.
we could still,
I know.
I mean, some people said they would be here for July.
Yeah, I will be.
So,
I will
Okay.
be.
so
All
I would
right.
keep it Christmas
Yeah.
ideas and
Christmas
everybody
ideas
can.
in July. And we'll check with Julie and see if she wants to do the tea bag holder maybe in August.
Well, she can do that in July because that's a Christmas idea.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep it. Okay. Yeah, keep. All right. So the 22nd of July is our next meeting at 1 on the 4th, 4th Wednesday. There's 5 Wednesdays in July, so it'll be the 4th Wednesday. And there's 4 Wednesdays in August, which we don't have a topic yet. And then September is the 5th Wednesday, the 30th. So we're okay. All right. We'll call it.
Yo, your puffy letters.
Oh, my foam letters. Yeah, we can do that.
Yes.
Good, because I want to do them.
Okay, so maybe that could be August.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that.
I
That'll
have
be
a
fun.
question. I have a
What?
question going back to your wall hanging. What
Yes.
kind of batting did they have you put in that?
They just said batting of your choice. So I just had one of those big prepackaged cotton battings that I've been using cutting up pieces of it. So it was
Okay.
probably I don't know what brand. Fry's sells packaged bats in a
Yeah.
package. So it was just a 15-inch piece of that. It was thin, but it wasn't like garment weight. It was quilt weight.
Okay.
Okay.
So as I remember the back of your quilt, so you must have at some point when you sewed it together, put another piece on and then you like stitched into ditch
Yeah,
to quilt it.
you make the backing 15 inches and the batting 15 inches, and then the quilt came out to be about 13. So there was a
Okay.
little edge around the whole quilt before I quilted it, and then I quilted it following the lines on the brick rack and
Okay. So you
stitching the
didn't,
ditch between all the tiles. So I was
sorry,
stitching, yeah. I was,
sorry, I'm asking these now because I was coughing and anyway, so
yeah,
you didn't put the batting onto the embroidery machine.
no, no, it was not.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Good question. It was just the heavy duty tearaway stabilizer plus spray, temporary hold spray, not 505. It was a one I've got at Joann's when it was open. I guess I've had that can, but it's called temporary hold spray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
actually stitched the batting down then when you did the stitching between panels.
The batting was not on until I quilted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So the quilt blocks tiles all went together as a single layer of fabric. So a quilt top basically
Yeah.
was what it was.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Janice. I know you put a lot of work into that.
I
It
know it
looks nice
was.
though. He did a nice job.
You did.
It turned out beautifully, and I'm excited. It's like, yay.
Now hang it up.
Yep. I have a little tiny rod, a white curtain rod that goes out to about 19 inches and you can collapse it to whatever size. And it has holes in the two ends. So that's what I'm going to hang it on and put it up on the wall in my sewing room probably. And that's where I can look at it. Anyway, yep.
Good.
That art APLI
Yeah.
embroidery site has these really cute dogs that you put them, you embroider most of it out. I have to download one. I'll try and get it done for July. But they hold a piece of the towel, like they're chewing on the towel or something. It's so cute. I thought about Nancy E making towels for gifts. So you might want to look at their art. I think it's Art APLI.
It
Yeah.
is because I was just looking at that. I saw them. They're cute,
APLI.
and they also
Yeah.
have some cat ones. I have a
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah, they have a couple different animals, I think, holding the towels.
Yeah.
They're cute anyway.
Okay. That's good to know about.
Do you spell it again?
I think it's Art APLI,
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Art Application. I think it stands for, I'm not sure, but they really have some cute embroidery pieces.
I've been looking at, and I bought Puffy font there from Creative Applique.
Okay, yeah. Well, maybe you can show some in August then when
If I get it done, yeah.
yeah. I know summer's hard. If it's a nice day, you don't want to be in sewing.
Well, I'm getting all my landscaping torn out, and I thought they'd be here by now because it's supposed to be done by the end of June, and it's getting overgrown. And I was looking, I have some spiky weeds out there, and I thought I'm going to go out this afternoon and put gloves on and get them out.
Well, some of those weeds actually have pretty flowers on the top of them. So,
Well, I don't want these.
but,
Of course, they'll pull all that out anyway, but
Okay. Very good.
all
Well,
right.
anything else? Okay. We'll adjourn and thank you all for coming. And this was wonderful.
all right. Thanks
Yes,
for
thank
doing
you.
that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good job.
Bye. Bye,
You got
everybody.
an A plus.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
Have yourself a cookie.
Yes, I
There you
will.
go. Treat yourself. Reward.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I have to end the recording. Let's see. Oh. Oh, there.